Well, hello everyone. This is Anthony here for another episode of Idol Slayer, and I forgot to turn the mic on. So we are going to be doing this in a post commentary style. That was a sneak peek. I got through 40 minutes and realized the mic wasn't on. So then I finished recording 54 minutes and decided, let's go. So this is off to a wonderful start today. I am having a lot more fun now playing this game. The last couple videos I did, I've been really struggling trying to figure out how to cover this game. It's a wonderful game in small bursts. It's not really meant to be played the way I'm playing it, trying to finish it as quickly as possible. This is a phone game that's really fun if you're just popping it off on your phone and playing it for a few, or on your Steam Deck or whatever, while waiting for some ads to play and go through them. Like if you're watching like a Hulu video, you got the cheapest version of Hulu, which honestly probably the best version because you're not paying out the wazoo, just to skip some ads and you just play for a minute or two. Show comes back on, turn it off, and just do it like that. Or come back every 2 to 4 hours whenever your minions spawn and you gotta go collect what they got, just like those old social media games where you get energy and you gotta come back for them. I think some phone games still do that. I just remember back in the Facebook era when that was like the big thing. I loved that, like Farmville, and like man, that was back when my mom played games. I remember she really got really far in that game. I never, like, that's the one game my mom just trounces me at. That and Spyro. She's really good at Spyro. But those are the only few games she really played. But man, it kind of reminds me of those type of games where you just play it for a little bit. But me, I just wanted to beat this game and make it my first game review. And I started like 4 years ago, and it's kicked my butt ever since. I love it. It's just not meant to be played like this unless you're spending a lot of money on it, which I don't have. I live below the poverty line. I make like $900 a month in disability, and I really hate saying make that because you're not really making it when you're getting given money from someone else's earnings. And I don't know. I really want to get off disability. I tried so hard last year. I have a massive scar on my arm where I broke it, like right here. They had to cut into my arm and fix it because my first job in 7 years, the third night, like every night was horrible. And I'm not counting the orientation. That was horrible for a whole nother reasons because the computer training, the fake smiles, I really do not like that. But man, the first normal day of my shift, I got my ass kicked. It was a really heavy, like physical job, and I'm not built for that. If any of you have seen my short recently, I am very overweight. I'm trying to get into shape, and in fact, like the whole like 40 minutes, I was talking about like a good chunk of that, like a good 10 minutes. I was talking about how that's the next big project after I beat Idol Slayer, probably, because it's not about just losing weight. It's about being fit, both mentally and physically, and that takes up a lot of my mental energy. And I don't have a lot of that to spare. That's one of the reasons I'm on disability. When I'm on a project, I focus on that project and only that project, and I can't really do much else. But man, and then I get sidetracked. I'm like, what was I talking about? Because I live on the poverty line, so I don't really have enough money to be spending on this game. And I actually was sitting down like, okay, after I pay all the bills, maybe send like $10 a week aside just to get through this game, but I really don't want to. But I really like this game and I want the creator to get money. I did buy it for $5 4 years ago, and maybe I can kind of justify it because this is my hobby. This is what I'm doing. I'm trying to make this a job. So spending $10 a week, that's what, $40 a month on it, until I beat it. Because this game, it could be so much easier if I spent a little bit of money to use the multipliers. But I'm also like, it could be a trap because but I do spend hours on this game. I have over 1,000 hours in this game. and it is fun, but there are so many more projects. I'm not going to get into it too much, but back in March I did start like writing down a list of all the projects I had started and never finished. And my last recording I actually went into depth about a lot of them, and I kind of want to get the focus on the gameplay here, but it's been a big part of my life trying to get that done and grow as a person and keep moving forward, because last year I learned really fast that I just cannot work a normal job. Because I'm also running around in circles in my talking, but back to the job thing, I worked last year. I learned I really can't work a normal job, because the first day, physical job, I kicked my ass. I could not move. The next day I worked, it was my mom's birthday, and I had to go in the late night, and I locked my wallet into my car, and it ruined my whole night. I got overly emotional because I could not buy anything to drink. The water fountains weren't working for some reason, and I was dying of thirst. It just, worst second day shift. And I had a day off, and then I worked the next day, and then I had 2 days off. And on that next work day, first thing I was told to do was move a power equipment from one aisle to the other. This is the only one you can move by hand. And I was moving it, backing up, looking behind me to make sure I didn't hit anything. And as I did this, I slammed the giant piece of power equipment between myself and the support pillar of the building, snapping my arm. And that was the last day I worked, and I realized no matter what I do, there's just something about it that I just cannot hold a normal job. It drains me too much to try to do that. So rather than go through that again, because they were the only, I had been looking for a job for almost 6 months at that point, and they were the only ones who would hire me. And I can't do that physical type of labor work. It isn't in me. I decided to try to focus on finishing these projects and getting a skill that I could use to self-employ. And that's kind of like the goal, because I realized no matter what I do, I have to start finishing what I started. I just have to. That's like the first thing I gotta learn. Because if I don't finish what I start, I'm never gonna get anywhere in life. I've been doing this YouTube thing for 12 years now. I love it, but I can't tell you how much I've sat down and was like, if I had done all these projects, man, how farther along in life would I be right now if I had just finished even a third of these projects I had started. At one point I was trying to learn how to make music. I was learning how to animate. I was learning how to draw. And I do draw. I'm actually part of my local art guild, where we're also a gallery where we post art. We do, it really reminds me of like anime guilds where there's like this bounty board and you kind of have things you got to go do, because they constantly have posts about, we're doing this art project, if you want to come join, do this with us, and this company needs some artwork, and if you fit this specific type of picture, like there's a black and white show, which is just black and white drawings or paintings or art, and I don't even remember where we're posting it down. And then in May we had a contest, Anime in May, to celebrate anime and that whole genre of art. And it is a cash prize win. It's not big because we are a small town guild. And I know in October we have the making, I want to call it upcycling. It's where we take any materials and make art out of it that we normally throw away. And I think that's upcycling, because we're not recycling or turning into something, we're making art out of it. And that, it used to be in November, but November was such a big thing that, because there's Thanksgiving and a whole bunch of other family obligations, the person who runs that particular contest doesn't want to do it in November anymore, but still wants to do it. So I think they moved it to September. But there's a lot of like different projects like that, and there's even classes you can take to learn different forms of art. There's a acrylic artist. There used to be a watercolor. I started when one of the artists was doing a learn how to draw for free class, and I went there and I had a lot of fun. And I still go every Wednesday to hang out with that particular artist because she runs the guild on Wednesdays, and she doesn't teach anymore, but it's just fun to sit down and hang out with her and the other artists and just seeing who comes in and looks at art, who makes different art. It's just fun. Do it really quick. Alright, had to pause that for a second. I was talking to my roommate, so and you guys don't need to know his business or mine, at least not that personally. But yeah, it's just the art guild's really fun to go to, and there's a lot of stuff, and there's even earning potential there if I actually was skilled, because anyone who's a member of the guild can teach classes and charge for it, and the art guild takes a little bit of a fee, but there's not much, and you can even sell your art there, and a lot of the contests are the first 3 places get paid a little bit of money. So it's a lot of fun, but I can't really work a traditional job, so I just wanted to try to focus on learning skills and getting that. And finishing, there's so many things I had started that if I had finished half of it, I think I'd be not only a much more interesting, but a more well-rounded person, and I'd just be further along in life right now. So ever since back in March, I've been focusing on that, trying to really push myself to keep going. In this game in particular, I started at 600 hours, and last time I checked I was over 1,000 hours into this game. And I kind of feel like I've earned the right to pay a little bit extra money to speed along the progress. But I'm also slightly hesitant to do so because I feel like it kind of cheapens it. But there is a benefit of once I start spending like $10 a week on my projects, it kind of incentivizes me to keep doing that and make that as part of my bills so I can get off of it. Get off disability, I mean. So I don't really know though. Like I've been flirting with it since about May because I've really been putting a lot of work in, and I know it'd be a waste because I do like this creator. I like this game. I think they deserve a little extra money. I paid only $5. I've gotten 1,000 hours of enjoyment out of this game, and I should kind of like have apostrophes there or something, or hyphen, like enjoyment, because as my roommate could probably attest to, the last 300 hours I have been bitching out the wazoo because I stopped having fun around hour 732. But I really want to finish this fudging game. And I think I've told everyone and their brother who will lend an ear about this project. At my art guild, I talk about it often because I view these videos as a form of art and trying to create things that are entertaining for people and fun to watch. And so I kind of chew my friend out a lot. Like, I've already spent 1,000 hours on nowhere near done. When will it be over? Because I know this game in particular, this run, I will have to basically enter what most games would call New Game Plus Plus. Because I'll have to ascend and reset everything, keeping only what is in the village unlocked. Because there's certain keys I need to craft these items to finish the game, and there's story progression in this game, believe it or not, in the village, that I need those keys to get further in. And I need 20 to get this fishing rod fixed to allow me to go further in the story. And I need another, I think, 10 to be allowed to upgrade my legendary items, which I was talking about earlier. Now I can't even remember if I talked about it earlier. I'm going to recap this really quick. There are items in this game you can craft from materials dropped by mobs. And there are items that you get from winning bonus games like the Towering Heights game I was just playing, which is the one where I jumped higher, higher, higher. And you also get it for playing other different equipment from different games, and you can upgrade those. But there are legendary versions you can get by getting further in the story. But you can't upgrade those unless you get these keys to pay the blacksmith to upgrade her abilities. And those keys can only be gotten when you reset the game and enter like a new game plus state. And I've already done that like 3 times. And you do get slightly faster because you get these things called Stones of Time, which you can put into one of 4 categories, which will boost your stats in that category, making it easier to get back to where you left off. In fact, I think it only took me 2 weeks to get back to where I was, which I was near the end of the game when I kind of got stonewalled, because there's certain upgrades, or I always forget them. There are so many things you need to get in this, because there's your normal equipment, then there's the special equipment you can craft or find and upgrade, which is completely different from that equipment, and there's upgrades and next to that, I can't like I mix up the words, but I'm talking about the skill tree here. And once you get further along the skill tree, you have to Ultra Ascend, which is called. Because normal Ascension, you restart your Slayer points and you get these upgrades that I've been talking about, which will make it easier to get higher. And higher coin counts and further along. And you unlock different dimensions, I think, in certain ones, and minions and bonuses and stuff like that. And affinities, which I'm pretty sure I talked about already in this video. But this is the problem whenever I screw up and don't turn the microphone on for the first 40 minutes, because now I feel like I talked about some of this stuff, but I had completely forgotten if I had talked about it in this version of the recording versus the last version of the recording. So affinities, just in case I didn't talk about, there are special things you can get from ascending your minions, which they level up, and their minions are little characters that you can send on quests to get more Slayer points. Without you having to do anything. You just gotta wait a certain amount of time, just like I did talk about those. Okay. I did talk about those because I remember that reminded me of Farmville and how like my mom, that's one of the few games my mom's really good at where I wasn't, because you kind of have to like set a timer and come back every few minutes. And I actually found that's a really good way to play this game, is whenever your minions finish their quests, come back, gather their materials and send them back out, and then ascend them whenever they max their level out, and you get a certain amount of affinity for that. And that affinity is divinity, not affinity, my apologies. You get your certain amount of divinity points, which you can use to get divinities, dark divinities, and upgrade the equipment that you find and craft. And oh my god, this is such a mess of a game sometimes. It reminds me of a lot of like gacha games and how there's so many different ways to upgrade your characters or level them up and max them out, and it gets really, really crazy. But essentially, I've lost my train of thought again. Just completely gone. I was talking about affinities because I was talking about the craftable items and how you use that to level those up, and I wasn't sure if I talked about affinities in this version of the recording. And now I feel like I need to spend like 10 hours or 10 minutes sitting here thinking of like, what did I say? Man, this does suck, but I do enjoy making videos, so I like this version of making the video where I'm just kind of like chilling out and talking over the gameplay footage. Feels like it reminds me of DVD commentary videos, and I love these. I don't know how too many people are into those as much as I am, or even know about them anymore, because everyone uses like, I feel like there's a full generation that didn't grow up on DVDs, that grew up on Netflix and streaming services. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like sometimes that type of media is lost. But in the olden days, when DVDs came out, there is special features, a lot of bonus features on a lot of older DVDs. For some reason, when Blu-rays came out, there was way less special features, which really sucks. But in the old days, you'd get like deleted scenes, mini games, and bonus behind-the-scene footage of making the DVD or making the movie, and then usually the director or some of the stars would comment over the DVD or the movie as it plays. And I don't know, but making the video like this, it feels like I'm doing that for my gameplay, and I just find it fun. Hopefully it's fun to watch. I genuinely don't know if it is for some people, but I feel like it's more fun this way because I can focus on just talking. And this is a big issue I've had in the past where my gameplay suffers so much because I'm splitting my focus between constantly talking and having fun and entertaining and trying to be good at the game. I have played so many fighting games where when I'm just playing the game, I'm really good, but whenever I live stream it, my gameplay, pardon me, just tanks. It just complete crap. Man, I shouldn't say I was really good. I was really good at playing the computer in those fighting games. I'm not a pro fighting game player at all. In fact, actually that's one of the projects I did start that I kind of want to finish. Is I was choosing a fighter game to really practice and get good at because I wanted to be competitive because I thought it'd be really fun to compete as a gamer, a pro fighting game player. I don't know what they call that. Is it pro? Is it just pro gamer or fighting game tournament player? I don't know like what you would call that. But I used to compete in online video game tournaments when I was in middle school through a little bit of high school. So about sophomore year of high school I quit because I had to focus on schoolwork and I hated every second of it. But I used to play competitive Pokemon Platinum when that was the newest Pokemon game through MLG Gamer, I think it was. Dr. Pepper sponsored them and I just don't remember. I think it was just MLG, and you could go on and you set up and you play in the tournaments for them, and some of them would be cash prizes. And I did decently well at the free tournaments. I never got into the paid ones because you had to be 18 years or older, because I think the law was basically considered gambling or something. I'm not 100% sure. Like these were full on like tournaments that some of them I don't think anyone got really rich over, but it wasn't the same tournament as the Pokemon World Championship, but it was still, I think it was still sanctioned by Nintendo, like they okayed it to be on that website. Because there were only certain games on there. There was, I think Halo 3 was the newest Halo game at the time. Maybe it was Halo Reach or ODST. One of those might be the newest game at the time. But I remember playing a lot of tournaments and having a lot of fun. And I was never really good at it, but I really like competing in games, even if I'm not going to win. Now, I don't like competitive shooters. I honestly can't stand Fortnite. I love playing Fortnite, but I do not play like anyone else when I play that game, as my roommate can attest to. We even talked about that a few weeks ago, because he loves Fortnite. He's been playing ever since they had the no build update. He plays regularly. He's always getting the season passes and has a blast, but he gets mildly competitive. Like, I don't know, I've seen way worse, but he really likes that game. And I was talking about how we would never be good teammates because I do not play the game normally at all, and he even agreed, because I will sit in through that game and just drive my little vehicle around like it's GTA, having fun, and go hunting, fishing. I one time I got a stunt bike and just was doing tricks all over the map. Didn't care a dang about shooting anyone, didn't care about looting anything, and I wasn't too bad. I actually was getting to the point where I was winning some rounds because it really isn't a game about killing the person. It really is just a survive till the end type of game. And once you get good at shooting, I feel like you really don't need to be that competitive with it to win every now and again. That alarm is actually for me to open up Idol Slayer again and collect the minions. Because originally I wasn't going to turn it off if it was going to go off during the recording. And it wouldn't have gone off in the original recording, but it went off this time because, like I said, I forgot to turn the microphone on and I didn't figure that out until 40 minutes in. This is ridiculous. I still can't believe that. Like, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how long you do making videos, you're gonna mess something up eventually. It's just part of the process, I guess. But man, I'm still kicking myself in the butt about that because 40 minutes, like that's a lot of time, and the microphone was not on. But yeah, the Fortnite, like I was winning about every 5 games I played. I'd win one once in a while, and this was back in the update when you had the giant hammer that you could smash around This is a while ago. Man, I feel like it was 2 years ago almost. When I'm thinking of, because I never put any money towards Fortnite. As you can probably tell from me talking about Idle Slayer, I don't put a lot of money into cash shops or anything like that. I very rarely, if ever, do that. The only one game I really did that regularly on was Warframe, because I was playing that for YouTube and I played it so much. I'm like, okay, this is a free-to-play game. Might as well throw some money at the developers. And that's kind of where I'm at with this game, and I feel like this guy definitely earned it. I played over 1,000 hours of this game, and I still find ways to enjoy it, even though, like I was saying before, at 700 hours, I was kind of done with it. But doing this YouTube and making the videos, I really started kind of like enjoying it again, trying to figure out, okay, how do I make this? And I came across the idea of doing like a short stories at one point, and just it's something about really trying to figure out how to make this in video, like re-engage my brain to where I'm like, okay, this is starting to get fun again, because I got to figure out how to do this and really focus on making the YouTube side of things fun. And that keeps the game fun, because now I'm thinking about while I'm playing, like, okay, how do I talk about this? What if I made a joke here? What if I did this? And sometimes it's just really easy to power through now, because it feels like it's no longer just a journey I'm on alone, it's a journey I'm taking everyone else on. And I didn't record earlier because I don't feel like this is a game. As I said before, I'm going to have to restart this from scratch all over again to beat it. I'm going to have to enter New Game Plus, so I don't feel like recording every single second is necessary, especially with this game. But I was playing for about 3 hours before the grocery store opened at 6 in the morning because I didn't have any coffee filters, and I was doing the Rage Pill method, which I talked about 3 videos ago, where I go into an area and I use Rage Pills. And this is the village that is the main story hub. So that's the blacksmith, and those items there that you saw that flashed up on the screen really quick, that is what I need to upgrade to get the legendary items to level up. And I really like this. You come here every once an hour to get a special drink, and it gives you a very good bonus. This player lounge is really fun too. This free spin here, which I unlocked this month, you get 110, and I just got 10 flint for free. And those eyes you get there, you normally have to pay with player tokens. And this free roll I really like too. It's a roulette wheel, and if you get, like here I think I win, don't I? Yes, actually I won 1, and then I'll play again. And instead of winning 1 this time, if I win, I'll win 2. And the next time I'll win 3. And I don't have to put any of them at risk, I just keep playing until it doesn't work anymore. And I've gone from 0 player tokens to 70 in 1 day. And you can still gamble if you want. I don't, because I like this game, I really do. But after a certain amount of time, you're kind of gonna be done with everything. And I really, oh man, I do like this game, I really do. But I would like to move on to another project at some point in my life. It is Pablo. I actually looked this up last time. His name is Pablo Leban? L-E-B-A-N. I live in Lebanon, Missouri, which is spelled the same as the country, but pronounced differently. And this is very close to this, like, I want to say Leban, but I don't know. But it's like, he made a pretty fun game. I'm just not playing it correctly, honestly. And the more I'm talking about it, and I mentioned Warframe, I'm like, yeah, I definitely do want to throw some money at him once a week or so. $10, I think, is more than enough. I don't know exactly what I'll do, but you see here, those reptile eyes, this is the only place to get it other than the free spin. And those other items there all give you bonuses if you get them. So it's really important to get the tokens there. There's other items you can buy that give you permanent upgrades too, because right there, those items there on the screen, those all give you like permanent upgrades if you have enough coins for the day. And this is also one of my favorite methods to get like a lot of coins, is you stack all these different bonuses, and then you do this rage mode, which gives you another coin bonus. Once you unlock the stone for it, the time stone, when you ultra ascend, you can put points towards that to increase certain stats. The 4th one of those is the rage pill, or the rage mode multiplier, which is how you unlock coins. Before that, it only gives you Slayer points. And that actually helps you speed up, because more stones in there actually increases the percentage you get when you rage mode. So it's really, really good. And I do genuinely have fun. This is my biggest problem with this game is not only how long it is, but how long it took me to figure out how to make this fun to make a video on. I honestly think this is the best format I had, where I just sit down and do commentary over it and just have fun with it. Because I did try to do... I enjoyed this method of making a video I did 3 videos ago, but I don't think it works for Idol Slayer, where I recorded 3 hours of gameplay footage. I took notes on what I did. I wrote it in the video name, put that aside, and I took those and I wrote a script based off of it. And I think that would do really well in a story-based game, where I'm talking about the gameplay and stuff, and there's a lot going on. But here, when I cut it into the videos, I cut out like, I want to say I cut out 80 minutes, or not 80 minutes. It was like 7 minutes for 3 hours of gameplay footage. And it just doesn't feel like that. It's the best way to do this game justice. And it was very bland and unemotional. And I think that's mostly for me not being able to read it off properly. And I have a very deadpan reading voice, and I would love to have like that old like wizardly voice where I'm reading it, and like just that deeper voice. I don't know if you've ever heard someone talk. Oh, Liam Neeson, I think, is the best point of it. His normal speaking voice is so upbeat and chipper, but when he acts, he has this deep, manly, like heroic voice. If you've ever seen the original Lego movie, he plays the cop, and he spins his face around and changes his voice. The happy, upbeat voice is his normal speaking voice, and then when it switches over to like the sunglasses version, that's his acting voice, and he has 2 completely different voices. I gotta go take my friend to somewhere. Not any of your business, but I gotta go. I will be back in a few seconds. I can pause. This is also why I really like doing this. I can pause this recording, and I can pause the gameplay footage and go do stuff in life without having to stop. And so I will get back in a second, but we were gonna pause this gameplay and then pause the... Okay, now we're back from where I went. We can finish the commentary, but I have completely forgotten what I was talking about. Ah, man. So we're just gonna go through these Towering Heights minigame. Oh, I was talking about the player chips, I think, because the casino thing. And I said that there are cash items you can buy when it popped up. And I was even talking to my friend, like, I really think that's what I'm going to start doing, is spend like $10 a week on it, just to get in the habit of spending money on my hobbies and career, because I'm a notorious penny pincher, and it can get very depressing. Pardon me. Because while I'm saving up for a bigger project, I have this habit of not allowing myself to enjoy just the normal things in life. I remember one time I desperately wanted a cheap Totino's pizza because I was so just nostalgic for it. And it's only $1. They're really, really cheap pizzas, and I hadn't had one in years. And I beat myself up for like 15, 20 minutes in the grocery store, and I ended up buying it. And I had loads of extra money at that point for someone on disability. Now, it's not like I'm rich. It's like I had maybe $400 or $500 in my bank account. That $1 to get that little pizza wasn't gonna hurt me. But whenever I start saving, I get in that mindset of spending any money is the enemy, and it's not healthy to do that. So I really do want to beat this game, but I also I really like the idea of just giving this developer some of my money, because back when I was playing, I really do think it's because I brought up Warframe. It reminded me of why I put money towards that game. It was a free-to-play game. I had spent like 300 hours in that game. I was like, you know what? They deserve some of my money. They deserve something. And I bought some platinum. I got some stuff I liked. It was just my way of saying thanks for making this game. And I don't think this person needs my money in any sense of the word. They're probably well off by now. I would hope so. This is a really fun game. And like I said, he's had crossovers with Idol Slayer. I mean, he's had crossovers with Shovel Knight and Attack on Titan. man, that's something else. Like, I can't believe, like, how cool would it be if I made a game that had like a crossover with a main brand, like main anime? Like, I would lose it. Like, oh man, that was so cool. But I'm not really a huge fan of Attack on Titan, but they did have that at one point, so it's kind of cool. And I do feel like like I said, I found $1,000. I only spent $5 to buy the Steam version of this game because I wanted to record it for YouTube. That's why I bought it way back in the day. So it is given like maybe $10 extra a week. That's $40 a month. I can afford that and still save towards my bigger goal at this point, which is currently it's part of my project list. I bought this air rifle and I need a special pump to blow it up because it is a high capacity air hunting rifle. I've had an air rifle as a kid and it's not that type of air rifle. This is a 4,500 PSI air rifle and it's not big game hunting, it's like small rabbit hunting, but I think you can do it with a normal air rifle. I don't know. I got the rifle and it's just sat there for a long time, and I want to get the pump and I want to go shoot it and practice shooting. And I also realize I can't even make videos of that though because YouTube prevents you from sharing. Their community guidelines kind of state that you can't do anything gun related, like live guns, and I do not want to risk my YouTube channel getting in trouble, especially when I have so little subscribers. And even if it's technically allowed and their automated systems may trigger something to where I need to be in contact with someone to get anything done, and even then, like when you're bigger on YouTube, that can be a pain in the butt getting a real person. And to be fair, they have so many people using YouTube. I don't know if you could hire enough people to talk with everyone, but I mean it still is a mess, and I don't even want to deal with that. So that is on my project list, but that's one project I will not be able to share with you guys because I know there are some air rifle, and even like, there was this one guy, Demolition Ranch, who did a lot of gun shooting stuff, but I think he constantly had to fight with YouTube not deleting his stuff, and he retired I think this year or two from YouTube. He was moving on to something else now because I think he just got sick of it, or maybe the guidelines, or I don't know. I used to watch his shows back in the day. In fact, I bought this air rifle because he was doing something with an air rifle, and I thought that was really cool, and I could afford this one. I couldn't afford the other one he was using, but it was just really cool because I never thought an air rifle could be that strong or that powerful, because this air rifle I have shoots 22, which I know isn't like a lot, but like, you know, in my head, I've always thought of air rifles as like a BB gun type thing, little small pellets, not 21 caliber. Like, I don't know, like I never thought an air rifle could be something like that. I've seen a lot more, but I need the pump for that. That's what I'm saving for right now. Once I get that, I do need a microwave oven. Mine is still working, but it's slowly going out. And whenever I save up for something, I save up for 5 times the amount. So that pump is like $20, so I'll save $100. And once I get it, that way if it's like 20 plus some change, I know I have that money, and then anything left over goes towards the next bigger project, which the bigger project right now is getting a Prius, which is like $3,000, so I need $15,000 to save up for that, which is a lot of money when you're on, you can't actually have that much money on disability. I set up a company that I donate to whenever I have too much, and I pay taxes on it, and it's just there so I can hopefully get off disability. But my hope is to like one day get enough not savings. It's an investment company, so I do spend certain money, and I even buy video games for my YouTube channels, and my YouTube channel is part of it. But I have it to where whenever I have too much money, I donate some money. I donate my excess to that, and I'm trying to. It's a whole mess, but I get into this process of constantly saving, and I never spend anything, and it gets me really depressed, and I feel like this is something that I do need to be spending money on. This is what I hope to make into a career, because I can't do traditional go to work at this certain time and work, because I have I've tried so many years now. I've been on disability for 10 years. I have been trying that long to get back into the work, and there's something about me and how I am that I just can't. There's something that I cannot fundamentally do what everyone else does, where they work a normal, steady job. And I don't want to give up though, and I just want to get maybe getting my skills up to where I can do some sales, or maybe because I have ran an online store at one point. I don't think it was that successful because everyone else does similar stuff, and my hope is maybe if I can get to be a mildly successful YouTube channel, I can, instead of having your traditional merch stores, I could sell you my other stuff like video games, art, books, and actual things people would want rather than another t-shirt with someone's name on it. I don't know how many people. I don't like that. And I will admit some YouTuber merch is really cool. There was a podcast I don't watch very often, but occasionally I'll turn it on. Because one of the founders, or maybe he's one of the guys I really got into early on. I don't want to mention it because the name of their podcast, they're not inappropriate, but it's one of those type of jokes that sounds inappropriate, and they did it intentionally, and I like them. But they released some merch, and they were plushies of their different avatars, which is really cute, and I thought that was cool. But there's something about the people who create merch, and it's just like their logo on a t-shirt, and it's usually a really crappy t-shirt or a hoodie, and I don't know. There's something about that I just feel like it's off, and I'd rather run a store where I'm selling some old retro video games like I used to do, and I really like maybe some custom one-off art pieces inspired by the video games, like what I did for the Dead Cells game. Oh, I didn't talk about that. Last version of this video that was recorded, but I didn't have the mic on, I was talking about one of the projects where I want to play Dead Cells, and I had started that on this channel, and I had drawn the teleport gate in. I made it more like a magical circle, and I was going to make it into a coin, and it was one of my favorite art pieces I've ever drawn, and I want to go back to doing that and finish that game. And one of the things I was thinking about, if I ever make it as a YouTuber, I would sell art pieces and things and I really like functional art. That's why I wanted to make a coin. Like, it's a coin you could toss up in the middle before you start a game, and it would need to be balanced to where you can flip evenly on one side or the other. It's a really cool design, and it's not directly ripped off from Dead Cells, but you could see the inspiration from it. That way I can legally do it, not get in deep shit, because I've also seen there's a nice tightrope you have to walk when you're creating artwork based off of other people's products. And I would honestly ask for permission. I'm like, hey, I made this based off of your stuff. Is it okay to sell it? And if not, then I'll just tweak it some more. Or maybe if I learn how to make a coin, I could maybe not sell that design, but create another design that's completely original and use the lesson I learned from making the coin and sell that in my merch store. And I really like, that's actually one of the projects in my project list. There's a lot of projects. I really don't want to talk about that. I do want to focus on Idol Slayer gameplay, but this is one of those things I've been thinking about, and I really want this to be a long-term thing I do. I love making YouTube videos, and in fact, it keeps making me happier. I was so unbelievably depressed earlier today. I woke up at 10 o'clock at night, which is pretty typical for me. It could be anywhere between 4 in the afternoon to midnight to 2 in the morning. I don't know why my body does that to me. It just does. And I was so out of it, so depressed. I ate breakfast. I started work. I walked around for a bit because I haven't sitting down too long. I set up a live stream for my other channel that I'm only going to be live streaming gameplay footage on. I don't really want to connect it to this one right now because it's I don't know. This channel is mainly just working on the project I was talking about, finishing what I started. There's another channel I have that I want to do a podcast for, and I had actually started a podcast, but I'm just trying to figure out how to finish it, and that's actually one of the projects. So it's once I get that, those projects I will talk about it, because I really like the idea of splitting up my YouTube channels to where this is just me trying to finish the projects I started, and once I finish all the projects I've started, I'll start new project lists and keep going and just working on projects on this channel. Whereas one of the podcast is something I started a long time ago because I was playing too many video games, and I was like, maybe I need to do something else, and that's what it was. And it actually I retitled that channel after my company name, and it's actually the Humble Man Podcast, because it's an investment company. I was like, whoa, let me try to think of something, and I was gonna name it after myself because a lot of companies do that, but I was like, what if I take the meaning of my name and make that the name? And my middle name means to be humble. And I was gonna say, I don't really know if I want you guys knowing my full legal name, but I mean, I'm sure I've said it before. But it just means to be humble. So I was like, well, I'm a man, so the Humble Man LLC, investment company, and I run stocks and investments, and I also invest in projects and artwork and resell, and that's just what I do. But like most things, I kind of quit. Now I still keep up with the taxes every year, and I file the paperwork I need to keep it a active business. And then I also I donate to myself, and I withhold the tax on that, and I pay the taxes on that, so I can hopefully get off disability. But I really haven't actively been working on it, so I do want to work on that channel. But my main focus right now is getting this channel up and running, doing videos every 2 to 3 days, having fun, finishing this Idol Slayer project. But I need to overcome that mindset of not spending any money on it, because if I want this to work, I need to get in the habit of investing into better equipment, better cameras. Like, I just bought a new phone because it's a 4K phone. I have this lovely iPhone 8. I love this thing. I've had it for 5 years now, probably. But it's showing its age. It's old. The battery life lasts an hour and a half at most, and the battery indicator just does not function properly. It will go down to 1%. It'll be at 1% for an hour of that hour and a half. It's a good phone. The camera's not that great anymore. I don't know what it is about phones, but every time I've had, I don't know if anyone of you had this issue, but it just seems like the phone settings or quality degrades over time the more you use the device. So I thought, okay, well, I really like using phones for cameras. So I looked up a phone. I wanted to get the Google Pixel 8, I think, but they sent me something completely different, but it was a better camera. So I was like, you know what? Hey, can I keep this? And they were like, we'd really like you to try to send it back. And I tried to send it back, and we could not figure anything out. And then Amazon was like, well, you can't send it back anymore. I was like, well, okay, then I guess I'm keeping it. And they're like, okay, I guess you're keeping it. It was the same price, so it's not like I didn't get a more expensive phone. I just got a better quality phone that would have been the same price that I didn't know about, because it was the dual screen, T-Mobile only. I forget what they called it. It's a really cool phone, and I love it. I actually did a little short, and I have psoriasis all over my face, and I was like, I even commented on it, like, oh man, this makes my psoriasis look really, really bad. And I got a thumbs down on that video, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they didn't want to see my ugly face, but it's there, and I do love that phone. The 2 videos ago, I did a nature video where I recorded just going on a walk, and I didn't record the going on. I sat down on my walk and captured some trees, and I put it in the background of 2 videos ago, I think. This is the 4th Idol Slayer video, but it's the 3rd IS video, because that was a very artistic. Like, I made 75 hours of gameplay, and I kept trying to figure out, how do I squish this down so this 75 hours can be in one video and not make everyone want to weep with tears of agony. I don't want my videos to be a torture device, so I was editing it in a very artistic style, and I got it down to 4 minutes. And what I ended up doing was a split. I had one big block video, and it was 5 squares and 5 rows of 5, and each square in those rows was 3 hours of footage. And then I split that into 4 videos. And so now that 3 hours, well, I think it was 4 hours because one of the videos was a full hour longer than the other videos. And it was one here, one in the bottom, one in the left, one in the right. And then I made those spin, and using my very limited animation knowledge. And I'm sure that's actually one of the things I need to learn how to animate more properly. I know how to use Krita for animation. I'm trying to teach myself that. I love the idea of being a cartoonist. Like, I love Dan Povenmire and Phineas and Ferb. I'm so glad that this month there was the new season 5 that came out. Sadly, I didn't get to finish it before my Disney Plus subscription canceled, which was, I think yesterday was the last day I could watch. I just don't have the money right now to afford it because it was like $30 a month because I did the HBO, Disney Plus, and Hulu bundle. I got to finish Bleach, which 1,000 Year Blood War was fantastic, and I started the Phineas and Ferb 5th season. I will probably get a Disney Plus eventually and go back to that, but I got other things I need to spend money on, like this game. And I don't watch enough streaming to afford 3 services, so I may go back. But there's things I want to watch on Netflix, and there's a whole bunch of stuff I want to do. But I used that, and then while the footage was rotating, I had this massive black screen. I was like, what if I go out and I record some nature footage? So I went out and did that, and like put it up, and I'm like, this is so cool, but what do I say? And I didn't know what to do, and I got really, really depressed. And it was Wednesday, I wanted to go out to my art guild to meet with my friend, and I couldn't, because I could not, like every time I try to get up and go, I get like this massive weight on my chest, and it just weighed me down, and I sit down, and I made that video that day, even discussed it, hey, even if I couldn't do it, at least I made this video, and I felt so much better. And after I posted that video, I ended up going to the art guild for about an hour. I hung out with my friend, I met with the artist who was doing the black and white show, and we just had a wonderful time just making art and hanging out together. I had a massive blood sugar drop. I swear I have hypoglycemia because even a couple nights ago, I think it was Saturday night, I woke up, played some Idol Slayer, checked my blood sugar because I felt like it was really low. It was 140. It's like, okay, I gotta go for a walk. Went for a half-hour walk, got back, and it was 78. That's a massive drop in less than 20 minutes. And your blood sugar should not be doing that. But I had one of those same type of attacks when I was at the art guild, and I kind of freaked out. But I had a cup of coffee, got home, I ate some stuff. Now I keep like almonds and peanut butter and yogurt and other snacks like that. So if I ever have a blood sugar issue, I can quickly eat some of that. But it was just making videos just makes me feel better whenever I talk and I get things out and I have fun. And I love this game. I really do love this. But for the longest time, because all I was doing was recording the gameplay, I was getting so in my own head and just, I want to beat this game. And I just needed to make it more fun, and making these videos makes it more fun. Like, I am so energized right now. I'm so pumped and happy and just talking and just being cheerful. I genuinely love doing this, and I'm not the greatest at it. I do think this is I feel like this is the right path for me. I'm not really great at it right now. I know I ran in circles a couple times, but man, just comparing this video to the last 5 videos I've made, and I've learned so much in the last 2 months on just making the best video I can and having fun with it. This is one of those games that's like just trying to learn how to make a good video while playing this game. It's really pushed me. And I know, comparing me to like the other YouTubers out there's so many other greater YouTubers than me, content creators is the proper term now. Like I remember back in the day, YouTube was really the only place you could make your own content. That was before Vine, and I've been around for a long time on this. But in fact, I think we're actually almost done with the gameplay footage. 20 seconds. But yeah, this is just so much fun. These are the minions I was talking about earlier. They're just so cute, little pixel guys. And I really like doing this. I hope you guys enjoyed it if you watched it. I think I'm going to make the next few episodes a little bit shorter. Probably about 30 minutes or 20 minutes, so it's less of a chore to get through for you guys. But see you later. Love you. Bless you. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.